Good evening. Welcome to Laughing Monkey Music Show. Dylan, welcome back for your 18th billionth time. Gonna catch up
Thank
now. How are you? Resting up? Are you rested from the tour?
Yeah, I mean, I went right from tour into Thanksgiving mode because my mom came down to visit. So,
That's
and then,
it.
so I had to delay my
Come
complete,
down.
my complete collapse, by a
What's
week.
it like though? But on a serious note though, because touring and being in that schedule is very different for some people. Some people love it, some people don't like it. Aging takes effect, and then COVID, the big break, threw off a lot of people
Yeah.
that kind of had it, they kind of had a groove. And
Hmm.
then all of a sudden you're like, oh, that groove's gone now. I'm just wearing sweatpants 24 hours a day. Like it's just, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, I
Yeah.
mean, the break. I mean, it was a little harder to get motivated again to
Mhm.
do it. I mean, one was like waiting to see if everything actually calmed down because all the people that
Yeah.
rushed just, I mean, obviously it was like a huge financial hit to not
Oh
be able
yeah.
to tour anymore, and like none of the options were very good. Like all these people are always like, "Oh, we can do a live stream," and I'm like, I don't want to play to an empty room.
There
And
wasn't much money in there though either. It was a short
no, that's
one-off
the thing
maybe,
because
and it was
the offers were all based off streaming numbers, and if you're not a streaming band, which we're not, it's like no,
yeah.
like you know what I
No.
mean. And it's not like we were all like like I was in LA, part of the band's in Seattle, one of the dudes
Yeah.
is in Boise. It's like what we're all supposed to like play on Zoom? Like no, it's just
Yeah.
it was not a it was not a viable.
Conducive. Yeah, it wasn't conducive to
Yeah.
making any cash, right?
And then you know like and then the bands that rushed out to tour right away, like there was every city had a different ridiculous, like so many bands book tours and then the show would get canceled because they test the band members and one of them would have COVID and they cancel
Hmm.
the whole show. I mean, it was like, so it was like having to wait to see if things got normal enough to tour again. And then, of course,
It was like almost like 3 years, right? Three or
yeah,
four years before you.
yeah, like, I mean, it was just like, and then, so many of the European countries had like, vax passports and like, it was just like, or whatever they called them, like it was just like, it was, yeah. I mean, it was just like, so
It's
finally,
hard,
once you get going, and then of course, by the time you get going again, like everything's gone up except your offers.
right? And it, right, and no one wants to pay the ticket prices because no one's been working themselves. They've all been at home
That's
collecting.
it too. And then, I mean, I think there's a problem too, like all these, you know, like so many. I mean, I understand like the small regional promoters,
Hmm.
like they have a hard time, but also like all these, just all the. I mean, the all the venues that got bought by all these big companies that just. I mean, they really don't give a fuck. Like, you know what I mean? It's just a money, another money
And they
thing.
have the money to float it and help get things going again too.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, like literally the only two people that, or two companies that had pandemic insurance and paid through the nose for it, but then it paid off were, Live Nation and Wimbledon. And
Yeah.
they made more money not doing stuff off that than they would have made if they, you know. So it's just like,
You would
but
have thought that something would have been worked out to help the community because the mom and pops have their own struggles on each side of supply and
yeah.
demand. And I mean, they've got a lot of other things going on too, on top of a band that may be here next year, may not be there next year. So how much are you gonna put on your,
Well, that's the problem too, is all these people want, it's like with the internet and all this stuff, things supposed to be faster, and now people want you to like confirm like a year out and stuff on shows, and it's like, and then they want
That's
the ticket.
insane.
go on. It's totally insane because people like forget. Like you announce a show a year in advance. I mean, everyone's still probably feeling burnt from all those, there were so many things where people had bought tickets and they were going to get a refund, but then they said they were going to reschedule, like so people aren't going to buy advance tickets anymore because they don't even know if they're actually going to that show. You don't know if the band's actually going to make it. Like it's just and then doing it that far in advance, it's like people just forget. Like just wait till like a month before and then start
I've
doing
heard walk-up tickets though are
that.
actually doing well for a lot of bands
We've
of this age group, like
yeah, I
15
mean,
up.
we've
I
always been a walk-up band. Like very rarely do we I mean, there's some spots where like, oh, we'll sell out advance like right away. But the majority
Mhm.
of them, like they're like, the promoter's freaking out, like blah blah, and it's like it'll be fine.
Well,
Trust-
first off, it's not all seats. So if there was a seated venue and
Yeah,
you can get front row, that makes precedence that does empower it. Now, a band like yours you allow standing venues and
yeah,
the type of music it is, it's definitely a working person's band. So you're at the end of the week, you're like, what do I got? I got my bills, my electricity, I got some, I got beer money, I
yep,
got Dylan Carlson money, am I going to see
yep,
Earth? You know what I'm saying? Like, what have I got that I can pull off?
yeah,
That's what it comes down to with a lot of that audience.
yeah. No, I mean it's. I mean it's we're not you know the and then I mean there's so many bands too that have this like inflated idea of themselves because like oh they'll sell out like all these shows in like New York and LA but then they can't book a 150 cap room anywhere else in America. It's just like
Yeah.
like it and so it's just I mean it's just like it's weird as they've tried to homogenize the music industry with, like Live Nation, AEG, and all this stuff. It's like not everyone fits into that. Like it's like everything.
Yeah.
It's a different world. Like
You
at my,
have a different bubble though. I think this is, and I almost think like the Doom, stoner, 70s rock. It's a whole, I don't know if it's really how to encapsulate it, but there's a whole groove and audience that really exists beyond Live Nation that does the
yeah,
walk-up dates. I
yeah,
mean, you did the Space Ballroom, you packed it,
yeah.
you know, and that's good. And it's in Hamden, Connecticut, so it's not like rock and roll capital of the world.
No,
It's
I mean that's
Hamden, and I'm not dissing Hamden. I'm saying, but it's a normal American town that's not fancy, but you packed it in with a loyal audience. That
yeah,
says a lot for the band,
yeah. I mean
you
that. I
know?
mean I think too because we're one of the few bands that I mean, I've always viewed the touring thing as I play the big cities so I can get to Hamden, Connecticut, Fort Smith,
Hmm.
Arkansas. Like, because that's where I mean, the appreciation level is higher. Even if you don't sell it out, like everyone
Right.
that likes you in that
It's hardcore.
small area is coming, and
No
then
one's jaded, right? Because no
exactly.
one's
And
seeing
it's like,
85 shows every single night.
yeah, and then everyone's like psyched that you came to their town, and and I mean, and in that to me, that's where you build, whatever you want to call it. I guess if I was like a modern, you know, dude, I'd be like brand loyalty, but you know what I mean? It's just like,
Old-fashioned bean counter. I'm willing
yeah, I
to,
mean, it's
if
just
you have a
like
kiss, I'm pushing some sign on the
there
side.
are people who want to see you and like you and want something, and they're outside of these like bubble cities, like
Well, the numbers are there for bands that if you work and you, besides brand loyalty, not buzzwords, when a band supports its fans on a loyalty level like that, you can make more money and survive better on a smaller label, a smaller situation than
yeah,
trying to do buckshot at a barn and try to make everybody happy
yeah,
and be scattered.
yeah.
Because no one's ever happy if you're everywhere,
No, and
you
then
know?
I mean, also I mean, the thing is too, like, I don't want to play to, you know, I don't want to like especially like there's like, when you get an offer for like some big opening gig, it's never worth it. Like A, the money sucks. B, most of the people going to see whatever big band that has
Hmm.
decided that they need a shot of cred. So they're like hiring, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
They see you have, I mean, it's like I hate the term cred, but that's
No, I get what you say. No, but
basically
there is a
what
certain thing. There is a certain
they're,
level of credibility that
they're cred
everybody gets
mine,
for what to do.
they're cred mining, and
Right.
they're the ones that are going to benefit. And like you're not most of the people that are going to go see Big Band A just want to see Big Band A. They only like Big Band A. You're not going to like win over a bunch of new
Hmm.
fans. You're not going to sell any merch because they're all buying Big Band A's. It's just like, and then there's, I mean, a lot of those either don't pay well. They charge bands to open for them now and stuff.
That's the
Like,
worst. That's
I
the
mean, it's
worst.
insane. Like, no, like I'll just go do my little show at a 250 cap room
I
and
think
like
that's the
bring
best way to
home.
go. I think unless you like a band like Metallica that like loves a band that's like total niche, and they bring
Yeah,
them out with their deep pockets and like, no, we love this band. Even if they play a parking lot gig, we're going to pay them well, take care of them, and
yeah,
show our love for, you know what I mean, and put them up
yeah,
on a pedestal. That's the very few. And I'm not saying I think that's Metallica. I don't even know what I'm saying, but that's the very few
yeah,
situations which would be good for a band like you,
yeah,
because otherwise you're just like
yeah.
a
You're
showpiece,
no one, and
and
like
it's not
people,
your audience.
yeah, people are gonna get there late. Like it's just like
But that being said, now
and then if those people are really into music, which so many of them, I don't know, if they're really into music, they'll discover you and they'll come to your small show.
at
You
that
know
point,
what I
though,
mean?
some of those artists, though, they're not small artist shows. If people see big shows, there's not as many people that see big shows that see small shows
Yeah,
as people that see small shows that will also see big shows. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah. It's
Small
a
show people will see all kinds of shows. We'll go
yeah,
anywhere.
big show
I'll
people.
go. I'll go to a tent and I'll see three people play. I'm like, Dylan's playing on my porch today, and it's gonna be the
Yeah,
best show ever, right? Then we're
yeah,
gonna have a big lunch, But then I'll go somewhere else to see, a big
yeah,
show. And it's
yeah.
the same to me. Actually, I like small shows better, actually. I love the energy. The energy in that room and the show you put on, Dylan, was so good. So
Yeah,
good.
we
I
were.
didn't even know how to quantify that because like I like your music. It's very instrumental and it's got different modes and stuff. But your music is very different, you know, which
Yeah.
is awesome, but it's different. And I'm like, and the sonic, the feelings and the tones, and your opening act, I gotta have Mod. The way he broke
Oh,
down the
Steve
sounds,
Moore.
yeah, and people can look. There's some videos of our show. We actually talked before the show also, and the way he broke down describing the sounds of the band,
Hmm.
it was great. It was brilliant. You know what I mean? I think he put into words something that a lot of us can't. And then the energy from the audience to watch and be patient and not be doing stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Everyone was so into the moment and just so focused on the energy of the music and the tones. And it was really great. It was very special.
Yeah.
And
I
those
mean, that
times
to
are,
me is the point of the live thing. It's like if it is that, I mean, I'm like a deadhead, like, and so like, like I guess old school deadhead, and I'm not talking about Dead and Co. But it's a whole other ball of whatever, more power to them. I'm glad they're printing money.
it's just a different animal. It's like Deep Purple
It,
Mach 3, Deep Purple Mach 1, and Deep
it,
Purple Mach
it's
2 are totally
like,
different than 1
but
and
like,
2.
like, like, like Jerry said. I mean, like, I don't know if this is how it really was, but like, the way Jerry talked about, like, and I've always felt that, like, that live moment, it's like we're all part of it. We're all
Hmm.
doing something for it. It's like, in that's the magic that happens is that, you know, that we're all here together sharing
Yeah.
this moment that will never happen again. Like that's what makes it to me like I mean, I love records, don't get me wrong. I love great records. I mean, some people might think that some of the records I love are bad, but whatever. Like I love records, but like they're a repeatable moment. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Whereas like that live moment, like this is only happening
One
now,
time ever, right.
ever. Like, you know,
With
and
you there. I mean, if you record it, it's still good. It captures it because we love our bootlegs. I've recorded you,
yeah,
and it's a great bootleg. To me, it's a bootleg moment. It's not replaceable,
yeah,
but just like, thank God somebody got good Sex Pistols, some good Led Zeppelin bootlegs, and good Hendrix bootlegs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because at the time you would have been like, oh, who cares? Whatever. But looking back, those are
Yep.
moments that everyone can share.
Yep.
But it still doesn't matter because being in that moment in that room,
Yeah.
nothing can touch that.
I just
Because
discovered a Hendrix bootleg I'd never even knew existed, which
see,
but
but
him doing Dear Mr. Fantasy, which is like one of my favorite songs ever from Traffic. And I'm like, I had no
yeah.
idea he ever played it. Like,
No, really, because I did, it's funny in Kyle and the first bands I was in, the guys like, yeah, we did a bunch of like original songs, right? We were like 16 or something. We played a party, and then we did like I think we did a Zappa song, and and they did an instrumental Dear Mr. Fantasy. It
hmm
just went on forever. I remember I'm
yeah.
like, oh my God, I want to sing again. Like it was like literally, like later on, I grew to be a huge Traffic fan and Stevie Wonder
Yeah.
and stuff. But at the time, you know what I mean? I'm like, I want. But
Yeah.
that is a good song. But the point is, like, those are some stolen moments that we would have lost to history that you never
Yeah.
could have identified. And I want to say to people, like, anybody's listening, if you're shooting video, and I do this too, but you got to do it in a way, put your darn camera down and stop blocking other people.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
No,
always hold mine in a way that it doesn't bother anybody. And that's
yeah.
just don't
Be
block people
aware of the,
of your environment.
the
Yeah,
environment.
that's all.
Yeah.
You just gotta be, if you're aware of the environment and you respect an artist, you don't do flash and stuff, you do it in a classy way, you
Yeah.
may catch a moment that's very special. Because it's at a point now where it's not taking away from sales of anything because the true
No.
fans are going to come. No one's going to come. If anything took away the same with Napster, Napster did it. You can't undo that. We can't put the lid back on, you
Yeah.
know? So that's it. The video's not fine, but please put your phones down and respect people.
Yeah.
You know, that's I want to say because because as a fan I can say that. Artist says it kind of comes off weird, but as a fan I want to say it does come off as you know it's
Yeah.
hard to see. So people actually, there is footage of the show that I actually saying that I kept it at a nice level, and there's a nice footage. It's a beautifully shot in a way, not just because of me. It's not because it's my shooting it. It's just you, your performance. There's a bunch of shots of you at the video out there, and each show's different.
Yeah.
I've seen a bunch
No,
of
I
them.
mean,
I love them
that's what
all.
I try. I mean, that's what I like about the live thing is every show is different.
Yeah, and that is your Grateful Dead thing. The bootleg, the videos, the collection.
Yeah.
It's those are all moments, and they don't, and none of those can touch the albums. They're totally different.
Yeah. No, I mean, well, I mean, the thing too is like, even if we're doing like, oh, we're doing an album or we're doing old songs, it's like, I'm not going to do them the same.
No,
Like, if you want to hear the record, then listen to the record. But like that whole, like, I mean, if you're going to do that, recreate it exactly, then
right.
then you might as well just play to a backing track and call it a
Well, the
day.
problem is that then it's kind of boring
I
because I
don't
can do that
want
at home. You know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't want to do that. Like, I never want to be like,
So I do want to touch in for a minute your band, your players
hmm
this tour. I want to give them props because you guys had a nice. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you always have a great band, but this first time seeing you, let's just touch on some of the players because if you want to talk about some a minute, they were great.
yeah. I mean, Steve Moore, keyboard trombone player. I mean, he's like, um, I mean, he was on Hex and Bees Made Honey, and that, that was a pretty good chunk of time.
Yep.
He was with us till, remember, probably till like 2010 at least. 2000, right before, yeah, pretty much like a pretty good chunk of the 2000s. I mean, he's like a jazz cat. Like,
Feels like coming back, he was really refreshed though too. It gave him a new perspective.
yeah, no, I mean, it's funny. He's funny because like Brett, the other guitar player, he was in this band Caustic Resin that was like the first show in
Hmm.
Seattle. His band, we played with his band at the time, Caustic Resin, and then from Caustic Resin later, who put out records and stuff. And then he was in Built to Spill for a while, for quite a while
Oh
actually.
wow.
Um, but so I go way back with him. But it's funny because like me and him are like we're like rock dudes, and like Steve is such a jazz dude, and like we'll drop these things that are like, like we'll always, it's always funny because we'll be talking about some rock thing that like, all rock fans like,
Yeah,
like
no,
our basic information, and he's just like, who are you talking about? Like, he has no idea. So,
that's
uh,
hilarious.
so it's kind of funny,
You
but
yeah,
yeah, Steve's like a killer. I mean, he's an amazing musician, like, and I mean, they're all, they all are in their own right, but Steve's like super. I mean,
yeah.
jazz players are top. You know what I mean? They just, he's, you know,
They are a
and
special breed.
yeah, like, I mean, he's got a great ear, and I mean, playing a wind instrument's a whole different thing than a guitar. Like you have to tune. You know what I mean? You're tuning the instrument as you're playing it to the. You know what I mean? It's not like a
Oh yeah,
guitar.
he was just he had I was just a couple different instruments over there he was playing with.
Yeah,
He was his own. He was its opening act.
yeah,
He gave
yeah.
her
I
a
mean, we
little
did that
like a
because
dissertation for everybody that was fantastic.
yeah, yeah. The first time he opened for us was back in the. We did a European tour, and he had just dropped a CD and with a little book, and we did that over in Europe. It was him, and then the guy that played bass with us at the time, Don, was also a drummer. So they were a duo that opened. I mean,
Okay.
the thing is, like, very rarely do we get like, promoters and stuff. We're like, oh, can you bring an opener? But then like, there's like hardly any money there for that. So it's like,
I think it was brilliant because I didn't know what to expect. First
yeah.
off, because
But
I
I
didn't know how
mean,
you guys were going to
I
sound.
always try and bring something that I like and that's maybe not what folks are expecting.
I love a left turn, and I actually loved it
Yeah.
even more. It's like, what is going to happen? I'm like, I don't know because I'm listening to him like this. This is good, but I'm like, what am I getting supposed to get out of this? Because I don't know what the genre is. What's going to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Where he's going with this, and I knew nothing about him
Yeah.
except for actually I met him a couple minutes before the show. Very nice guy, but
Yeah.
then hearing him in the performance, like, well, that's kind of it's nice, you know. And then the talk was nice, and it really led into you. It was actually, you know, yeah, kind of like a bonus to kind of built up for your the sound,
Yeah.
you know, because he, like I said, he did an explanation of what people listen to sonically and how it breaks down and kind of how you like it and kind of like the um the Earth version of how it would be. He broke it down for the rest of us Earthlings, you know,
Yeah.
which was great, you know. But you had a really stellar band, and let's say the drum work, fantastic. Also, I don't want to,
Yeah.
the whole thing. You guys just sounded fantastic.
And then Bill, well, it's funny because Steve and Bill have both played a lot too with Sun over the years, although you
Mhm.
wouldn't know it from the robes. Uh, but then Bill also, I mean, Bill's like he was a percussion major, so he's also a killer drummer. But uh, and then he plays bass. He played bass with Jesse Sykes in the Sweet Hereafter for a while, and then before that, he was in a band called like Citizens Utility back in the '90s. Um, so yeah, I mean they're all like, you know,
You had quite a lineup of people didn't know exactly who was part of the band.
yeah,
You know, I mean, I was a little bit aware of it, not as aware, and I had to go back and look at a couple play. I'm like, this was a really good show, and I look back up and looked each player up individually
yeah,
myself, and I was like, wow, you really had a stacked band coming in that
yeah,
maybe everybody didn't realize the
yeah.
lineage, I guess would be a good word, right?
Yeah, I mean
Backing
that.
you.
I mean, Bill was on Primitive and Deadly. Brett was on Primitive and Deadly. I mean, I've
Mhm.
known. I mean, they're like people I've known. You know, Brett since the
But once
night.
again, it was a special moment being live on tour with these guys
Yeah,
because everything's interchangeable.
I have a good pool to
I
draw.
think that's more common now, not just
Yeah,
with
I
you, but with
mean,
as we talk about rock bands that do that. They have certain
yeah,
like a couple singers do that. They rotate in
yeah,
drummers and guitar players for different
yeah,
tours at different times now.
yeah.
And it's no
Well,
negative. They're like, you available?
yeah. I mean, unfortunately, like it's not everyone sort of has to have their side hustles, and no one can just be,
But
the.
okay. And fortunately that, but fortunately the other side is everyone does have, there's so many people that it's
Yeah,
actually been acceptable that now it's
yeah,
just a flip-flop trading thing.
yeah,
It's not so unheard of, oh my God, why are you know what I mean?
yeah.
But I think it's really played to your advantage, especially on this show. What now that you're back and your batteries are sort of charged enough, or not really because you got Christmas, so we talk about that.
Yeah.
You
Well,
got some gift stuff
and then I'm
you got to take
also
care of.
doing logistics for we're going to Europe January, February, so dealing with all
That's congrats on
that.
that. So what's going on now? Is it you guys headlining? Are you doing some part of the tour? Are you doing some festivals? Like,
We've got one festival, the CTM Fest in Berlin, which we're doing the only it'll be the only Hex show outside of North America. And then the rest of the Euro dates it'll be, a regular set by like we'll play a bunch of different stuff. Um,
yeah,
some new stuff, some stuff from the old, just the mix, I guess
right.
you could say.
But
Which
for
I
you,
mean,
you have
there's
fan favorites, though, right? I mean, you have certain favorites you have to play when you don't do an album. Do you feel you
it's
have that pressure because
weird.
it's a
I
different
mean, there are
audience?
certain songs that a lot of people want to hear, but I mean,
You're not Bon Jovi when they're like, if he doesn't play "Living on a Prayer," I swear to God, Dylan
yeah,
Carlson, I
no,
will be
I
so
mean,
mad at
it's
him.
not. I mean, there are certain songs that people love and want to hear, and I try and keep that in mind, but we also aren't, yeah, like you said, we're not like bound by like, oh, we have to do Living in
A hit
Prayer.
single that drove an album that
Yeah,
made you that fan, and they're like, "This is a song that brought me to him.
yeah,
This is the song I fell in love to." Whatever you know what I mean, saying
yeah,
whatever.
yeah. I mean,
This is our prom song for Hex.
yeah.
That
No,
would be
I
sweet,
mean,
wouldn't it?
it's definitely very different now from like, because in like when we first came back and dropped Hex, between Hex and like Bees, like
Yeah.
we used to tour like, and we'd like play like, I mean, we basically like after Hex, we were basically playing songs that later became Bees Made Honey
Mm.
live. That's where we developed them. So it's like it's kind of a, you know what I mean? I kind of miss that a little bit because it was always like we were doing newer, you know what I mean? We were doing
Yeah,
brand new like work, like things were like constantly in motion. And now,
changing.
but I mean, I understand. Like, I mean, I do the same thing. Like when I finally saw Uriah Heep and they didn't play Steelin', I was like, "Arr," like, but like,
They're like, it's like the first time probably like 800, they played it 800 times. You're like, it's the first time we took a break from it, right?
yeah, exactly. I mean, it's like, I understand. Like, you can't. I mean, especially if you have a catalog, like you can't get everything in there. And like,
You
you
know what I
do.
can say as a fan that wants to see that? Go on, the song list, it's a website. What is, I don't know, it's song something. And I'll tell you what the bands play.
Mm-hmm.
And someone each show and do like the tour, usually current, old
Yeah,
tours, and they break it into like a thing. I tell you, they played this song this many tours on this tour.
yeah,
So you can emotionally be prepared for what you're gonna see and not see.
yeah.
It might be ruining the ending of the movie, but if you're a dedicated fan, you're like, I want to hear you got another thing
It's,
coming, and they're not
it's
playing it, you'll gonna know it's not there. So you're not gonna be in that headspace.
yeah, it's like those lists of like dead songs. Like they played this one like 2,000 times.
Exactly. They have it for every
Uh,
all the other
they
bands.
played this
They had it for
one.
you
This
up
one
Big
they
Bill, I
only
think.
played three times. It's like okay, so
Yeah.
they're probably not doing that one.
Right. And so then you can go back there, you can look and see your show you just did. They only played it one time on the tour. So it's
Yeah.
kind of cool. I forgot what the site's called. But anyway, I look it up all the time now. Um, see, that's the thing with me is I think like I knew your songs individually here and there and there. But when it really finally clicked for me, I think the big album that clicked for me that was my album. I think Bees was the album for me.
Yeah.
Like I was aware of you guys, I liked the songs, and I was just kind of all over the place, so much music. But man, when I honed in, and
Yeah.
it was that one album they just play all the time.
Yeah. Bees
Bees was
is
my first Earth
definitely
album that I played all the time.
it's
Timing in
definitely
my
the
life, I think.
it's definitely the one that like whatever kicked it up a notch, I guess
I
you
think it
could
just
say.
got put in front of me at that time, and I was like, "Oh, it's Earth," and I like because I hadn't heard something, whatever it was
Yeah.
in timing, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh," at that point it was like New Earth because it was
Yeah.
new, and I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh," and then I was back in that mindset, and it was perfect time for me to get back into Earth again.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
it,
that record is definitely it's kind of like our American Beauty for the Dead, where like the one Dead record everyone might have, even if they're not
right.
dead.
Well, it's just either that one or the greatest hits one.
Yeah, yeah,
What the hell
one
it's
of
called? Yeah,
those.
it's it took them a lot of years to make a greatest hits record though,
Yeah,
to perfect songwriting.
Yeah.
Um, but one of the things with that is, and but now, like I said, collectively, each album itself, I could go back down and realize how each one is fantastic in its own way, and each holds a level. I'm just saying, to me, that was my gateway drug to get reintroduced and to be back into the mindset.
Yeah.
Um, so where are we now? So if you're doing the tour, I think one thing with this type of music is I would love to see you get in a place and do something live. I don't know, it's probably not financially feasible. Or even do some kind of guerrilla style thing in a nice, beautiful European or cathedral, some kind of church, something where the
Yeah, I mean,
acoustics and the lighting is
we
good,
played a couple. We played a couple like when we did the first Earth 2 show.
and like record
That
it and
was
video
at a
it yourselves.
Presbyterian church in Austin, and then we played a show in uh what was that? Katowice in Poland. It's
Hmm.
the only Protestant cathedral in all of Poland. Uh, we played a set there, and then there was actually one tour where we kind of did our version of Wanted Dead or Alive. Speaking of Bon Jovi, in this church in uh, Padua,
Yeah.
and they let at the time our bass player was Carl Blau, who's also he's like another amazing kind of musician, but they let him play the organ, so he did that 12-string intro for Wanted
Oh, that
Dead
must be
or
beautiful,
Alive
right?
on the organ.
You
And we
guys
did,
do that though. You do sneak in songs though.
yeah, I didn't have vocals, but it was
No,
funny
but
because
you do that though. So that's the thing you do.
yeah, no, we were playing it, and it was funny because people would be like, I'm like, I think this is familiar. And then the funniest time was in Manchester where I was at the merch table, and this kid came up and he had a jacket on and he opened and he was wearing a Bon Jovi shirt and he was like, thank you.
I love that because I like that because I think it takes it's funny because like you give a nod to just being open to stuff and it's not
Yeah.
elitist in a way and it's like everybody loves music and this is just a fun thing. It's
Yeah.
tongue in cheek, but it's also fun.
I mean, I grew up as a rock kid. You know what I mean? I'm like, I love, like, like, it was funny because I was talking to this one guy who was taping and we got onto White Lion, like, and
Yeah.
like, like, you know what I mean?
Vito's
Like,
guitar tone, you can't be a guitar player not like Vito's
oh,
tone, right?
yeah, I mean,
My
that's
God.
like the dude was like crazy good. And like, I don't know, I mean, I like rock and roll, like, and I
Richie
like,
Somero's guitar tone also, especially
yeah,
the early albums. Oh my
yeah,
God.
no, it's like, they're great songs, like,
Yeah.
whatever. Like, so,
Just
anyway,
happen to be a bunch of good-looking guys, just way too good looking for this earth. You
yeah,
know,
they
you
were,
know for that album they did for One Day in Our Life, they actually shot themselves all with like beards and cowboy stuff, and the
oh,
label
yeah.
thought they looked they didn't think they looked good looking enough. They thought too grungy and dirty looking. I'm like, even there they look better than most of us. Like right there,
Hmm.
unshaven, like you're like, God, if I could look that good, and that's the label's like, oh no,
Yeah, yeah,
oh man, so ridiculous, right?
yeah, labels.
Save some for the rest of
They
us,
could have had a whole second career. No, I'm kidding.
right? They but it's funny, but they do, and that is something with back with the 80s. And if you're a guitar lover, a lot of those albums back then, if you did have a lot of extra guitar that got buried, you didn't hear
Yeah.
from a lot of players, and a lot of those popular artists stuck in some of their favorites. Like I think John Bon Jovi, this whole album, he had like not Chuck Berry, he had oh, what's his name? Oh,
Well, like Mr.
we're
Big
freezing.
doing used to do
Yep.
30 days in the hole and like,
Hmm.
like because they were into free or like,
Yep.
I mean there was that kind of weird era too where everyone did like a weird cover, like
They also did Wild World,
oh yeah,
Mr. Big. And I remember
yeah,
part of the guy, one of the guys in the band didn't even know who it was. I
yeah.
remember hearing that. He's like, I want to do it. And they're like, who's that? Who's, and they're like,
Man,
oh, you know?
that's a dude I it's funny. Uh
Yeah.
Dude wrote some
Oh,
just amazing shit that like I mean
who,
I
Cat Stevens? Or are you talking about Mr. Big?
yeah, well, but also then like
Or
Cat
Yusuf? I don't know what his name was at the time.
I just call him Cat Stevens. Whatever. You know, we can
I
worry
know,
about
it's just
it.
easier. That well,
Yes.
that's what he was at the time. That album, The
Yeah,
Key
that's
for
what I mean.
Tillman, right?
Oh my God. One of my fir- one of my first acid trips, I listened to that record and I was like, this is the best album of all time, and like was so into it. I mean, I still like the record, but I also am
No, but
like,
that's got quite an impression on, it's very funny. So, actually, funny. So 30 Days in the Hole, he's just said that. I just talked to Jerry Shirley from Humble
oh,
Pie.
whoa, dude, Fastway too. One
Fast.
fucking
That's what I talked to him about. See, I love that you have the Bell reference too. I go, people talk to you, they talk about Humble Pie, of course. I mean, it's Humble
yeah,
Pie. But then I go, and people talk to you about everything else you've done. But really? And you said Barrett, you said Barrett. But what we want to talk about is Pete Fast, Fastway, and you did some wasted. I go, let's go there for a minute.
yeah,
He goes, nobody asked me that. I go, well,
yeah.
we're here.
No, that first Fastway record was like
Yeah, those
killer.
first
It's
two.
so, it's so weird because I remember, I mean, I was in high school at the time, and like there was only one other kid that liked it in my whole high school, and I was like, what
Yeah, I
is
don't know two other kids when I
wrong
heard
with
it at my
people?
school.
Like, it's just like, how can you not like this? Like, it's just like, I
Fast
mean,
Eddie Clark, Jerry, and Pete.
Way, although he left right after it dropped,
Second
and
or third, right?
wasted, and then
Yeah.
and then they had that killer singer. I mean, it was just like that was a
You know who the
like
singer is now? He's I can't think of he's in another popular band now too that you wouldn't think of.
hmm. But
Ah,
yeah, I mean, they were like they
they
were
were great.
they were a
Those
great
first
band.
one, he said that Jerry said that the label kind of booted a lot of the guys out, and he
Yeah.
actually thought they would have gotten Eddie out too if he was under contract
Hmm.
and it's his band name.
Yeah.
They would have just replaced the entire band.
Yeah.
But that was the sound of the band. So
Yeah.
the fact that they did that is insane to me.
Yeah. I
Oh,
mean,
so
labels pulled some stupid shit back in the day. That's for
so
sure. I mean, they
so you ready
still
for
do.
this? Oh yeah, definitely. But I mean, they replaced the entire. So you got the band known for the four main players,
Yeah.
legends, and now you get that right. So so Dave King was a singer.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what band he's in?
No.
Flogging Molly.
Oh, okay. I
Put
did
the
not
connection.
know
He's the singer of Flogging Molly. Fast way to Flogging Molly.
that. That's hilarious.
Isn't that insane? When I heard that, I go, oh, I wonder what the singer from Fastway's doing. I'm like, that's the same singer from Flogging Molly? Yeah, that was a little fun. You're probably the only person that would appreciate that too.
Yeah.
I'm like, I actually like the artistic jump on that. But once again, it's about the playing and the songwriting, it comes down to it. So where did the evolution though? I mean, it's kind of funny. I always talk about the beginning and end and soup to nuts thing, but being such a rock player with you, and you level, I mean, and people go back to the other interview we just did too. We talked about some other guitar players that you like, a little more off the beaten path. Where do you develop this of playing the style and songwriting you do now? Because you play music differently than what you listen to. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, the thing is, I've always had this thing. I mean, I feel like we all have our influences and the things that we love, but that's net to me. That's never been like, oh, I want to sound like that. Like I
Right.
don't want to be them because they already exist. It's like I view it as like what can I learn from like what do I like about what they do that I can learn from and then apply it to my thing. Yeah, rather than like I mean I think it's just
Right.
the way I learned guitar like cuz like I had a couple friends that were picked up guitar around the same time and they were always like learning other people's songs and like doing that like which like to me, like whenever I try to learn a song, like I
Yeah.
like if I usually find something in it and then go and fuck with it and then try and write my own thing. Like I started out right away like I'm going to write songs. And then also like there's a lot of techniques that I love like whether it's pedal steel bends or like that kind of stuff but like I sit on them until I
Hmm.
feel like they're integrated into what I do
I respect that. And I get that. I do get that because I can't
Ra-
play covers and I
rather
don't know how
than
people can do
like
it.
rather than just being like oh this is our this song I mean I try to not like think you know
Well, even the covers you've done, you did. was it You Misunderstood
Yeah.
from probably the best Motley Crue album. If there's one
It,
Motley Crue album,
I love that record so much.
I played it so much. To me, John Corabi made that band.
Yeah.
You know what I
No,
mean?
it
It
was like,
turned everybody else into it let Mick be the guitar player he
yeah,
is.
yeah,
It put Tommy in a spot where he was just in a different spot. You
yeah,
know what I mean? And I think it allowed the songwriting and brought everybody up to, even though he was not in the same commercial level as those guys,
yeah.
I
But
think it changed the dynamic.
that band he was in at the t before that,
Scream.
where that record
Yeah,
kills, like,
it was good.
and it's so hard to find now. It's just
It is. Even
like
back then, I couldn't find it. I was like, trying to find it like on
yeah.
cassette or something. I mean, you
I mean,
really
they
had to.
came out like 91. That was not a good year for like anything that had hairspray
Well,
involved.
no, I mean that was crazy. That was
It
just a
was just
bad.
like, you're done. We're on to this whole new thing now.
Oh, and I think they signed a couple $1 million deal too, and the new. I mean, it was just a nightmare financially.
Yeah.
I've talked to John a few times, and he's a pretty funny dude, pretty laid back dude. I know he's got an album coming out. He's finally doing a solo album, so I'm interested to see what he finally does.
Yeah.
You know, um, well, once again, so you do Misunderstood, which is a great song, and I remember hearing that, and I always forget to ask you about that. I'm like, great nod to a good song that no one really talks about because it's if you're not into rock and metal, if you can't just accept things what they are at face value and be like, I
Yeah.
get that, I can ignore the makeup part or whatever, you know what I'm saying, whatever, and
Yeah.
just get to the bare bones of music. Some people can't do that to just whatever. But the fact that you're not like that and you're like, oh yeah, it's just a good song.
Yeah.
You know what I
No,
mean?
I mean, that riff is just killer. Like, and then when it like, I mean that, and then the production on that song, like with all the
Yeah.
crazy mellotron and like, it's just like, I mean, it's like,
And he has one of the best rock, he has a great rock
yeah,
voice.
killer singer, like such a good singer, like, you know,
Great singer. He was dating for a while. The rock singer Delana from Rockstar. She's got that raspy
no,
voice singer. She
I
also
don't.
has a raspy voice, right? Rock and roll singer.
Hmm.
I'm like, you guys should have kids just to have the perfect singer. You guys,
A whole new
because
generation of rap.
she's a great singer too, right? I'm like, if you guys just had perfected the perfect singer, like you guys, that DNA would have been beautiful. It would have been the perfect raspy singer ever. Um, they're both pretty cool people too, so they're it's fun. But yeah, I think you did that on a live thing on one of that XWXP, so one of those studio shows you did.
Yeah, yeah,
Really
we
good
kind of
version.
use it as an intro for the song, uh, segued into this other song, this song of ours, California and Other Impossible
Mhm.
Dreams. So it's kind of a, we kind of do it as like a,
Do you feel now? I mean, you write your own rules and your own songs, and it really have created your own soundtrack of music, you know what I mean? Of your own sound. I mean, it really is yours. Do you feel on some level now, if you wanted to do something a little faster or something a little bit different instruments, your fans would be like, he's a
I,
sellout. What is he, John
I
Bon
don't,
Jovi?
I mean, I don't think so. I mean, well, I mean, the
Not
record,
that you want to, but I'm saying as an artist, right?
yeah, I mean, the new stuff I'm doing, like, I'm definitely like doing, I'm I'm playing more around more with like, I guess, like texture.
Hmm.
Like I've been really into this. I have been like finger picking instead of using a pick as much. Um, and I've been playing like, I guess what most
Does that mean
people
you're
would
growing
call.
out that big drug, doing a big fingernail out too?
No, I don't do the fingernail thing. Like,
But a
just
lot of pickers do that.
yeah, I like, it's like the skin's fine. You know what I mean? It'll harden
I'm
up.
just putting that. I'm not judging. I'm just putting it out there
But
because to me, fingernails make me crazy. I'm like,
then
ugh.
I don't. Yeah, I don't like.
I have my own issues. That's me
I
though.
can't have fingernails. I just they. That's just like,
Yeah.
like I'm one of those like cut them as short as possible kind of guys. So, um,
So you're finger picking and
and
you're
then
doing it that way.
I'm liking like cleaner. I mean, I think it's funny when people are like, "Oh, that's a clean guitar tone." It's like, well, no, it's just it's not as overdriven, but there's still like stuff. You know what I mean? Like it's just like, but
I
yeah,
think the
like
only clean guitar sound is not when it's not plugged in and you hit the
yeah,
string.
yeah,
That's a clean guitar sound. Anything else after that, it's not
yeah.
clean anymore.
No, it's
Just because I'm going to say that right
exactly.
now,
But
right?
I've been playing more like cleaner, but then I really like trying to layer sort of textures under that sound, like, you
So does it
know.
sound a little different? And 'cause let me tell you why I'm asking this in a way, because I also enjoy your solo stuff and other stuff you've done with other people. And I always feel like you have other type of stuff, other sounds poking around the corner.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
feel like
I'm
you have
always,
other things you do that you don't always put in Earth,
yeah.
but I always feel
Well,
there could be a
I mean, the thing
potential.
is, I
It's because
try
it's
and
you.
keep like, well, the thing is, I don't want, uh, like when I was, so like when we did the Angels of Darkness, Demons of Light records, like
Hmm.
at that time I was, super into like, I'd gotten back into like English folk rock and like stuff like that. And, and then like it was a, pretty deep like wormhole, but I didn't want it to influence
You
like
are awesome at wormholes, just so I want to put that right now. You deserve an award.
I didn't want it to be to affect, you know what I mean? Like I did that with the Earth, and then the new Earth record was on the horizon, so I did
Hmm.
the solo thing around at first. The first solo thing I really did was around that, so I could like whatever, finish
Right.
that wormhole, but leave Earth to do its next thing, and then the next Earth record we did after that was like sort of like the return to metal with Primitive and Deadly, where
Yeah.
that was when I was like, like when I was like, I was just like, you
It
know,
does feel like you try to put things in different silos. You've been trying to honor Earth sound and doing your solo stuff because you do, which I enjoy also very much. I enjoy when you go off the wormholes. I actually enjoy that.
yeah,
But to that point, I feel like there's a certain point, like, but as an artist, there's going to be a certain point to, or as a songwriter, because some people, their whole career's gonna be like, this song goes for Earth, this thing goes solo, this goes here, and then some people go, I really don't know till I sit down, and then at a certain
yeah,
point, you write, you're like, I just write songs that I have in me at the moment, and whatever
yeah,
project come on becomes that project, and then people mix it up because it gets boring as an artist.
yeah.
So that's why I kind of ask you is you've done different solo and other stuff and other people and Earth. You've done a lot of all of it through the years. So you're at a point now. Do you feel like things are going to start to overlap a little bit, or do you enjoy having everything in different lanes?
I mean, I don't. I mean, there's always a bit of overlap in a certain way, but I mean, I try. It's like I try to do it in a very like, okay, this is the Earth thing that I'm trying to
So you
do.
try to or you try to keep a theme or a thread
Yeah,
of that
yeah. I mean,
sound
I
for
feel
Earth.
like Earth
So
records, the strongest Earth records are always ones that have some kind of sort of overarching thing to them
right.
that kind of keeps it
Okay.
in a
You don't though, but it's not like you're not the band that like you'd be like, I like the band during this period. You know what I mean? Like, oh, this is
Mhm.
a rock band. This was a glam period. This was a rock period. This was their blues
Yeah,
period.
no, I mean,
Earth does not have
nothing
a
that,
period. They're just Earth has a
yeah,
sound.
yeah, no, I don't try and do, I try not, I mean, I don't do the genre
Right.
hopping.
I mean,
I
Bees
don't,
and Hex are different albums, but they're still the same group. You know what I mean? It's not
yeah,
like,
it has to make sense as like, to me, it has to make sense as like, it's an evolution of the band rather than like, oh, let's try and do this or let's try and do that or you know what I mean? Like, I mean, I've
it's
always,
crazy.
I mean,
You're more
that's,
like AC/DC like that, right? Kind of, you know what you're gonna get for an AC/DC album, you know?
yeah, yeah. Like, they're not
No,
going
but
to
I mean,
reinvent the
kind
wheel.
of guitar riffs you're gonna get, it's gonna
Yeah,
be in that theme of the style.
yeah, yeah. I mean, like I said, I'm always trying to like push it in some, to me,
Hmm.
to me, I call it forward motion, whatever. That's just how I look at it. Like hopefully like this next Earth record like work with some like electronic textures and like make it more. I don't know. I call it textural, but like so it'll be a little. I want it to be like. I mean, I feel like we kind of did a big arc from Hex to like
Yeah.
the last record in 2019, and now it's a new arc. Um,
You
uh,
definitely have your own song. Like you don't have you never had the danger of I joke about AC/DC, but I mean your songs don't sound similar to other songs of your own. Like you're never at risk of copying yourself in a song. I'm like, oh, are they doing
yeah,
this song again? I've heard
yeah,
this riff before. It's
yeah.
something
Like
no Earthing has ever said before.
Yeah, no, I mean,
He's reusing this riff.
try not to, you
I
know,
don't think I've ever heard. I don't think
yeah.
there's nothing
Yeah,
I can
I try to
compare.
make. I mean, I try to make every song should be like its own thing with its own arc, but then have an arc. I mean, I mean, that's how like I guess old I am. I still think of an album as like an arc, not just like a collection of like tunes.
That's
Like,
the best artists. Those are the artists. Actually, I think if I look at that, probably the people I'm most friendly with, the people I've run the most,
yeah.
are artists that make albums and think
Yeah,
like
no,
that.
I mean it's how it's like we're not a singles band. Like we're not it's just like so it's like we
I'm
work
not a
with
single show. I keep telling people that.
yeah.
And there can be new, they can be heavy bands. I got progressive bands, 8, 9 minute songs. I'm like, that's you got some great talent there. Shoot me back an email when you got a full album.
Yeah.
I'm not promoting singles bands. And it's not that you're a bad band.
Yeah.
It's just that everyone does that. And I'm promoting people that do albums. Now they can
Yeah.
release a single and go
Yeah.
to an album,
Yeah.
but you gotta be a big picture type of music thing because a collection of songs that are all tied together or at least produced in a vision together is so much more satisfying.
I think that's a kind of become a lost
It
art, you
is, and
know.
and it irritates me because in iTunes, I have to like regather my songs. I have to rename all everybody's singles. I gotta make my
Yeah.
own custom artwork for it because I hate just singles. They don't roll cycle. Nothing. I want consistency.
Yeah.
You know. And if I'm putting all your
Well,
songs together, I want an
it's
album.
this whole like playlist
Yeah.
mentality and it's like which is fine. I understand. Like, sometimes you want to hear a bunch of songs, but like, I mean, I've been trying to do that more because I noticed I was like, oh, I'll listen to this song and I'll listen to that song and I'll make a playlist
Right.
and now like if I like something, I'm like, I want to hear the whole record. Like I want to
Hmm.
sit down and like I used to and just like I'm putting on the
But you
record
know what the
or
danger of that is, though,
mm,
is some songs will sound okay or nah, out of place. So you'll never hear that song again if you're just doing certain songs. Like
yeah,
I heard something the other day. It was like from Prince. Remember when Prince did Purple Rain? Everyone's like, ah, I've got the album right.
yeah,
And then he did Around the World in what, 80 days, whatever, 60, whatever
yeah,
the album I did, Around the World. And that album was so different, and I respect him for that. Right? All the different sounds, and it was just so not pop. And there's songs on that album that I had not heard about because you're not going to hear them, you
no,
know. And I'm not going to listen to it all the time, but I went back to hear the album once. And I'm like, that was really good as an artist.
yeah,
Like, and you're not, and that's what I'm saying at that point is you're not going to hear it. Now, I probably won't listen to it for 20 more years, whatever. But the point is, I wouldn't have heard that because if you're just doing greatest hits or you're doing a playlist, you know what I mean?
yeah,
Those songs, those are the kind of songs that get lost for all artists.
yeah.
And those are the
The deep
nuggets that
cut.
are the best parts of some of the albums. Yeah,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
And that's the danger of doing just singles because if you write every song to be a single,
yeah,
you suffer as an artist, I think, because your songs just something the dynamic of a band. These artists keep sending me just singles, and
yeah,
all they have is singles. And
yeah,
I went through them all. I'm like, they all sound like they're radio friendly, but are all going for a time signature there because there's a beat and a timing and a
yeah,
compression level, and it's not an art, it's a programmed, it's like a math
yeah,
problem.
yeah,
And did you guys forget what it's like to just sit in a studio or and record something and play back and see how it
yeah,
sits here sonically with this one and you know, oh, it sounds
yeah,
like our last song. Let's do it differently. Let's throw it out. Let's put it aside for another album. No,
yeah,
it's great. Sounds like our last one. Let's do it a single.
yeah,
You know what I mean? And that's boring
yeah,
for someone like me, and for someone like you,
yeah.
but
No,
not.
I mean, I grew up with albums like that. To me, it's like an album is a complete, you know, like I mean, there are great singles too, but like there's also like at the end of the day, it's like a great single is the gateway to a great album, or that's how it should be.
Well, and it leads you to that. I mean, if you're, well, I mean, think of some of your favorite bands and some of the songs that they had. You know, you wouldn't even heard because they weren't singles. They would have been singles. You never would have heard those songs,
Yeah,
right? I mean, when you talk about Traffic or you said Super Fantasy, you know, what I mean, you wouldn't have how much you've heard of from Stevie Winwood,
yeah,
and all his bands
yeah.
he's done. I mean, what was this Blind Faith,
Yeah.
right?
It's
That
weird.
album.
I That album's so good and like it's so funny to me like looking like when I look back on like an album like that and you see the reviews from back then and they just trashed it. Like they
I never
fuck
listened to the release that. There's really that bad on it.
yeah, Rolling Stone fucking hated it. Rolling Stone fucking hated Led Zeppelin. Rolling Stone fucking hated Black Sabbath. Rolling Stone fucking hated Uriah Heep. Like some of the like most like vicious reviews of, and then but then 20 years on they're like, oh, like it's just like fuck you guys. Like,
Well, I mean, first off, people review. It's hard to review music. Like to me,
and then Traffic was crazy. Like if you read the press about Traffic from then, like from like the British papers and Rolling
yeah.
Stone, they all thought Steve Winwood was wasting his time and that like like just like hated Traffic. And I'm like, what were you guys on? Like,
I think people just like to hate music. Like I don't. I think they like to find their one thing, and then it gets too big for them. Too many
yeah,
people like it, and it's not cool. Like I just think it's a. I don't even understand how people like music aren't. I don't
yeah.
know.
Well, I
You
guess
know.
it's like again, it's always that thing. Like those that do. Those
Yeah.
that do it, those that don't teach or critique or are critics.
Or
You know
become
what
gym
I mean?
teachers, or you're a
And
gym teacher.
yeah, or whatever. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, and then yeah, I mean,
But it
I
is
don't.
crazy. I mean, to me, I'm like, or you could do it this way. Do I love all music out there? No.
Yeah.
I could do a show. I just rag and beat up stuff and probably a bigger show. But why do
I mean,
that?
that's
Like,
one funny thing I liked about that in that young person that when they did that young person's guide to King Crimson, that was like a
yeah,
compilation, and it had that booklet with like the entries from like Fripp's diary and like news clippings and all,
yeah.
and just some of the like the critics like just trashed like the violin player all the time, and like it was just
I mean,
like
it's crazy because you look back at people still don't understand King Crimson.
no,
You know what I
no,
mean?
like
I don't think people ever. Did I just vanish? Do you see that? Did
you
I
just
vanish? I'm here.
I can hear
Did I
you.
just?
You
I don't know what
disappeared.
happened. That is so. Hold on a sec. I'm still here. I'm gonna. That is hilarious, huh?
Yeah.
Where did I go? How about now? Let's see if it calls me back. That is so weird. That is so
the
funny. I don't even know how to fix that. Let
the
me see here.
bilocating host.
Right? Woo. It's like you turn my camera off. I don't know. I'll switch cameras. Oh, there I'm back. See, I'm here. I'm here.
The magic
Uh,
word.
yeah, it's like to me, like, but like, yeah, Blind Faith, that album is like most perfect, like the most perfect album out there. Like, you know, but looking back at all those bands and those artists, I mean, that's the same thing where all those artists were doing so much so different back then. Like everything
Yeah.
was so different. If you look at, you know, and there's not a lot of that anymore.
No.
I think you find it more originally in this genre right now.
Yeah.
It's one of the last genres that will do different types. Your band's very different, you know. The Obsessed and stuff that Wino and Richard Arcana and stuff that they're doing is very different. Like, there's a lot of bands out there that are doing different stuff
Yeah.
that sounds different, and they're like writing guitar songs and they're just going for tones and songs. And you know, there's tons of groups out there, and maybe some groups are good for some and for others. But the point is, these you guys are just doing original stuff, and it's like trying to just keep it, pure.
Yeah. We're not
And
trying
I,
to cosplay some old.
right, of your legends. I mean, and I think you said earlier, that's just you liked an artist, but you didn't try to emulate it, And I get the influence here, and that's because you already have one Jimi Hendrix, you just second one. You already have 81 Eddie Van Halen, you're another one. But I think my point was like you listen to a lot fast rock, and you didn't create a fast rock band. I never,
Yeah.
I never thought you'd be a person that would sound like another artist. That wasn't my point. I'm thinking you don't even have a lot, like you're not like rocking out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For somebody that listens
No,
to a
I
lot of
mean
rock music, you don't have your
I
Johnny
mean
B. Good.
our rocking as songs are like, or you know what I mean? Or I mean like I think the fastest that we've ever done is like I think the like we might hit like 80 BPM, and that's like cooking for us. Like
I know it's insane. Some of the
I
some of
mean
the stuff that the drums hang on is just so insane. Like you're like, how are you should hold it? It's insane to me. Like it's so good, but it's like I couldn't do it.
yeah. It's funny because I there's this side thing I've been doing the Hyloxylos
Mhm.
with Dave Harrington and this guy Peter Bauer his son Otis, and then this drummer Dylan Fujioka, and some of those songs start cooking, and like we just did a show uh on the 8th, and like I was so worn out trying to keep up with them. I was just like
Well, there is an energy like so people so your energy on the stage is the same energy as now
yeah,
and the same energy as before the show having a sandwich. Like we talked for like 20, 30, whatever, we hung out for a while. And you went on stage was the same chill.
yeah,
So yeah, to rock out would be exhausting.
yeah. I mean, I guess what I need to do is just figure out some like halftime shit to do behind it.
I actually think now is perfect for you, like because you're one of the few bands that can play out, and you're not gonna. I mean, you're like I could just do this off my deathbed, like
Yeah,
because it's so chill, you
yeah,
know.
yeah,
The least amount, the most action for the most minimal movement.
yeah.
Economic playing, I think they call it. Economy picking, you
Yes,
know. But on a serious note, I mean, it's really good. But the point is, I mean,
slower
I was with
hand,
us. It
slowest
is
hand.
funnier that, yeah, but but it's always about the song. What do you
Yeah,
write for the song?
yeah,
I mean, there are people that overplay songs and there's just too many notes.
yeah,
It's beautiful, the beautiful players, but I'm like, I can't listen to it all the time.
yeah,
I would hear an Earth album, I would say probably 100 times before I'd hear, a full another Ingve album in my life.
yeah.
Not dissing him because he's a great
No,
guitar player, and I heard he has a great Lamborghini collection.
yeah.
But I mean, some great guitar technique and the scalp guitars. I mean, you can't touch that for a lot of people. Just listening though, I get fatigued.
Well, I think that's the
Four
problem
songs in.
with a lot of the newer
Mhm.
players is, I mean, it's always kind of, I mean, I don't know, it's this thing that started where like it's the worship of technique over musicality. And it's like,
There are two schools there, yeah.
and then if you look at like most of the great players, like they played constantly under their technical level. You know what I
But
mean? Like
you're serving the song.
that's what I'm saying. The great ones served the song. They weren't. It wasn't about like you know
It's
like
funny you say that because I was thinking the same, like you hear a song and some of the best songs ever. Most amateur people, me, even can play the basics of a song on a guitar because that's what a good song is. And they're a billion times better on guitar or whatever, right? But they're not doing that because they're musicians and they're songwriters.
it's something I noticed when I early in my early days when I was like what I consider incompetent and just doing my best, like my early bands, and we'd play with, and I'd watch, I'd see other bands,
Hmm.
and it was kind of like when you are not like when you quote unquote suck or can barely play,
Now we're talking about me. Anybody's paying attention.
but
Now we're talking about me. Anybody's playing. I'm not
you know
talking
what
about
I mean?
Bill's
Like
playing anymore.
there's a certain like there can be a certain magic to it when you're like just rank
Horrible.
amateurs and you're doing your best and like trying. And then there's like, the bands that are just like, you know, ripping, like
Right.
they're, it's the middle like band, all the like mediocre bands that I've ever seen were people that were constantly playing at the limit of their technical ability. You know what I'm saying? And like bands that would be like, oh, but this is interesting to me rather than, you know what I mean? Like, oh,
That actually kind of describes Grateful Dead.
I mean,
It's not a dig. It's not a dig because I think that's actually why they made it more
I don't know.
interesting.
I mean, they were obviously like when you're improvising, there's a certain amount of like,
It's
oh, this
hard.
is interesting to me, but it's also like the structures were like simple. You know what I mean? Like, but
And
I
improvising is hard though, especially live. But they put their 10,000 hours in. If anybody has put 10,000 hours in to be a
yeah,
pro, it's
yeah,
that band.
yeah. No, I mean, Jerry. I mean, the amount of
But could they
shit.
shred? And could they? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean that whole term like just is like the whole
I know,
shred.
but you know my point. I'm saying I
Yeah,
wouldn't. I've never thought of that before, but I agree with you. I think that that's a good point for songwriting to be, though. They're
Yeah.
not overplaying it.
Yeah, you don't it's like I mean, look at all the great songs that are like, two or three chords. Like it's like you don't have to have, you know, 25 chords and like three key changes and you know what I mean? Like you can do that if you want to, but like the only person that's probably going to find that interesting is you. Not
Right.
like when you're and it's not a dig that's not saying like the audience can't handle it because there's plenty of bands that are like complex that
Right.
people love, but it's like it's at the end of the day it's like you shouldn't like you shouldn't always be playing at the limit of your like technical ability. That's not how you do music. It's
I
just like
think that's it. That's perfectly said because I think we're the bands that are now progressive. Like I love Yes,
hmm
but now Yes never played at the full limits all the time. They
no,
followed songs and they broke down. But once again, a lot of things they played, if you think about it, it's very simple.
yeah,
Complex simple though, because of course the drums and the way they fit and they piece the puzzle together. But when you took the puzzle apart later and you watch what they did after
yeah,
they saw what they built the road, then it was
yeah,
easy, right? But the point is, same thing. They weren't all out. But
yeah,
nowadays, there are bands that everyone's, their foot's on the
yeah.
pedal the whole
Everyone's
time.
just like, I got to
The
be
whole
like,
time, and it's 12 minutes long, and you're like, there's never been a break, a
yeah,
journey, a little doodaloo, you mean
yeah,
anything,
yeah. There's no song. It's
right?
just like, it's just like,
A
you
guitar
know,
exercise, and that's
yeah. It's just like, yeah. It's like a list of exercises, like, and like,
and I think that's what goes back to just like the original song, and and that's why artists like you and all the other bands, like a lot of bands at my show, and unfortunately we're gonna be losing like a Rose Tattoo soon because they're at the end of their road.
yeah,
Different rock and roll bands that just guys that just get up, you know, and play rock and roll
mm-hmm,
bars, Um, I mean, I'm not name dropping. I was talking to Spike from the one of Choir Boys. He got that really great raspy voice, and he says
mm-hmm,
to me, he goes, "Can you name?" He goes, "Because we try to take out new bands out there, but rock and roll bands, because he considers themselves a British pub band. That's what they do, you
yeah,
know, just bluesy, whatever." He goes, "Can you name any great American bands that are coming up to take a spot?" And that's the point. My statement here is like, I'm like, yeah, but no, I can think of a few small bands, but there's no one coming up to take that spot
no.
of like big rock bands. I mean, can you think of new bands? There's some new bands you hear their songs and they're great bands or whatever, but
I
no
mean,
one's got the presence of
yeah. I mean, I kind of think. I mean, uh, a sh- I think if the world still worked the way it used to, especially
right.
the
Well, that
industry.
yeah, that
I
mechanism's
mean, I
broken.
feel like Yob, they could have, like, if the world was still the way it was, like, I think Yob could be like Metallica, the
I
Metallica.
could see
You know what I mean? Because they're just like incredibly good in
yes.
that, in what they do, and they're like for a heavy rock thing. Um, but like
Think
just
about,
straight,
I agree with you on that. That they are a great band, but I'm saying about think about just like rock and roll. Like you thinking, I mean, because he's from just a rock band, like your Aerosmiths and your
yeah. I
Zeppelins,
mean,
your
I
Sabbaths. Like
can't.
think about it now, like right now.
Yeah, I can't. I mean, that's the thing. Is like,
Isn't
I
that
mean,
crazy?
it's like you know, I mean, you know, it it's just
15 years ago, you're like on the radio, it's like all these new rock bands. Like, oh, this is a new band's coming out. This is a new rock band. You know what
no.
I
I
mean?
mean, there's so many bands like, oh, this is the band that's gonna save rock and roll, and then they're
Right.
gone.
But there was a lot. But now there's not anybody even, no one's even saying it because there's no one even around to try to save it.
Yeah, because no one.
Nobody.
It's like no one's doing it. It's like everyone wants to be. I don't know what they want to be. You know what I mean? Like they want to be these weird pop star influencer hybrids or whatever it is that the kids are into.
All those are fleeting.
No, that's what
Even
I'm saying. There's no. I mean, the thing is, I mean, I think, I think one of the problems is that um, music used to be made by the kids that got kicked out of high school, didn't do well in high school, like didn't you know what I mean?
yeah, misanthropes.
The misfits and the
Yeah,
unpopular kids and now everything is the popular kids doing everything. The popular kids, the nepo babies, the like hidden secret wealth, like they've it's like, you know, like
I think that's what killed grunge.
I mean
Grunge
it's
killed metal.
still it
Think about the audience for that the audience for grunge.
yeah. No,
That audience was not the same lost group of rock fans that we were.
no,
You know,
no.
because I mean, you were like we're all like a similar age, so we all
Yeah.
listened to certain rock bands back in the day, and we had the same influences. And there's good grunge bands. I'm not saying there weren't, but I'm saying, but that new generation, that was the 10 years between like it's like disco rock, maybe 10 years, right?
Well, I
That
think
age
it
group, they
I
were
mean
a different group.
I also think it's the fir- I mean I also think grunge is kind of where like the labels really like
Oh
dialed in
yeah.
like we're gonna give them this and they will want it vibe.
Hmm.
Like before there were like the wild cards that they'd throw against the wall and like even the fact
Yeah.
the fact that there really was no such thing as grunge until it was like
Right. I
created.
mean, the title's weird, just like hair metal, but it's just more of a reference point for the song.
Yeah,
I mean,
no, no, I know. I mean, but I'm just saying, and
no,
then
you're right. They were very
the
smart
labels were
commercially.
like, this is what we're doing, this is what we're selling.
That is a good point. They honed in
It's
faster than they did on the
like
rock
it was
bands.
just like that's where they were like, boop, you know, and
And that
then
may have been why
like
it burned out faster because they were
I,
so
I
in.
think, yeah, I mean, I think so too. And there was like no, it's really where the genre thing became like, you know what I mean?
Because to me, I mean, they were just
I,
next version. They were second generation of alternative music, and so many good bands were so different. That just got
yeah,
put in a commercial spot that were the
yeah,
guys and the
they were.
girls and the people that were
That's
the popular people liking the music that was
yeah,
not their music. I mean, that's my point. It's like it was the audience changed so much that it was like that was a turning point where it's like,
yeah,
wait, this
and
is
then
our music. It's not
and then
rebelling.
yeah, it's. I mean, I don't know.
You know,
That's
it happens, and I think it's changed. And now it never changed back.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know, it's not a complaint, and everyone has a right to be successful, or whatever. But I think it
Well,
made
I mean,
it
the thing is,
academically and perfect, and it took the rawness out of it that anybody could do it. Or
the problem is too. I think is the like all the really popular stuff right now doesn't sell product. Like they don't sell physical copies. It's all based on streaming numbers. And most of those people are not making money off music. They're making
Mhm.
money off brand placement and like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
They're not it's like no one is selling records. No, like none of the giant names are selling actual records, God forbid CDs.
except this time of year, Mariah Carey, that godforsaken song,
Well, yeah,
over
but
and over again.
she's from, you know what I mean? She's from back in the
I'm
day, you know
saying
what I
that
mean?
song. I just heard that song again today. It just makes me want to just jump through the wall.
But
All those shrieks she does. Oh,
like all these people, like, you know what I mean? They don't sell music.
right.
They sell other things, and music is just their like
Hmm.
brand.
I don't know who's making money besides Spotify. I don't think who else is making money in Live Nation in music
Yeah, and
lately.
then the majors selling their catalog for AI shit. You know what I mean? It's like
Well, that's what comes down to me when the show started. Like, I don't do the YouTube money for it because I know and I did it because the artists aren't making money. So to me, why am I gonna make money off an interview with you when this is about you trying to help your career? You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Eventually, if I evolve to the point of getting sponsorship, it'd be a little different. But I don't want to get, I don't, I've always avoided being that part because it's about
yeah.
the artist making it, you know what I mean? It just feels like
I mean,
otherwise you're just part of the machine.
hopefully, I mean, what the hopeful thing I think about is like so like all the like movies are dying, Hollywood's dying, like and like all like and everyone's moving into this like weird technosphere, you know, AI thing,
Yep.
but it's like a lot of people are abandoning that. Like they're
Yep.
not interested. Like, I mean, I just saw a thing the other day about all three platforms, like, YouTube, Meta, and someone else are they're no longer like they're doing something apparently where they're not privileging AI content anymore. They're
Yep.
privileging like because apparently all the AI content is actually making people leave the platforms.
Yes, everywhere. YouTube had it
And
everywhere.
so it's like I think people, I mean, this is my hopeful thing
No, I've
is
heard this too.
that people want like are abandoning that, you know,
For
I mean, I'm
original
not saying
human.
that's not where there's still, I mean, all that money out there in this tech sphere is fantasy money anyway, but like, I think people are like looking for like a real thing, not another, I mean, look at all the YouTube videos about who's an industry plant and who's, you know what I mean? Like, it's like people are like done with that and they want, I'm not that it's like,
No, but there's voices. They do the voices, YouTube voices, AI voices. There's checks now. When I do my show, so I'll post a show, right? I'll edit it, and there's a back page. You put the information in, you build everything in the background, and it says, "Is there AI? Is there sponsorship? Whatever." It'll say,
yeah,
"Is there any fake AI in it?"
yeah,
And I love to say no. All
yeah,
my interviews, all my stuff says no.
yeah,
I'll use it for a funny picture, like I'd use
yeah,
Photoshop for a funny picture.
yeah,
Not even for this, but I'm saying they just took off a bunch of platforms that were doing fake trailers with AI.
yeah, yeah. No,
Everything with AI.
yeah, it's just like, it's like people are like,
I won't
I mean,
support something
not that,
unless
I
they can
mean,
perform live.
again, I also don't think our audience is that audience. We do our music for an audience that is not people that, whatever, whatever.
Well, that's the hope is just going to be another generation, though,
Yeah,
of independent musicians
yeah.
that
I
are
mean,
going to, and maybe that might be the new thing, though, rebelling against AI. That might be
yeah.
the
I mean,
musicians thing.
I don't know, but you know what I mean.
Guitars and drums, like live music. Or,
Yeah.
I mean, you can be a electronic drums, so don't get me wrong.
I mean,
It's
I
going to be a
think
human playing it, not a robot.
I mean, I think the problem too, the problem I feel with like people picking up instruments and playing them is there's just so much information out there that like tries to convince you that like if you don't have a $10,000 rig, like you're not going to be a professional and like all, like there's just, and then the whole vintage gear thing, like
Hmm.
it's just like you don't need vintage gear. You don't need a $10,000 guitar rig. Like,
My day was just called an old guitar.
what I know, like I
Maybe it's
laugh.
vintage now, but it's an old guitar, I guess, right?
No, like when I laugh like when I first bought my guitar when I was 15, like I got a Gretsch because Malcolm Young played one and Billy Zoom from X played one, so I wanted
Yeah.
it. And it was like $300, and then like there were all the new like $3,000 Charbels and stuff. Which
Hmm.
not, I mean, I love Charbels. I'm not saying that in a bad, they were killer guitars, but I didn't have 3 grand. I had 300. So, but
Yeah, but
and
it's cool
now
about,
it's totally like switched where like I could probably find that Charvel for like you know
yeah.
nothing, and then that Gretsch is now worth 3 grand. Like it's just like because but it's just like I don't know. It's like and then like
If it's,
it cracks me up because it's like all like bro, all those Strats Hendrix was playing were
yeah.
brand fucking new. They were not vintage Strats. He was playing whatever was available at the time, which was brand fucking new. Like, so stop with this like vintage, like the whole vintage gear thing. Like, I mean, I think it's cool in that, like, oh, it's cool to see what they did then, and I admire the workmanship and like
Right.
craftsmanship, but like it's like, please stop with this idea that they're like,
Yeah, it's cool to have if you can afford it, but it's not a tool that makes a
you don't,
difference.
yeah, you don't need it. It's like, it's just like.
if it's, I have guitars that are older from me. I have a I have a Geo. It's funny. I have an Ibanez, only a couple years old. I love it. I
yeah,
just put some great new heavy strings on that one. And I got, another old guitar. It's just, it's kind of a Strat looking guitar, but it's great from the 80s because it's got this
yeah,
really heavy wood neck. I think I paid $80 for it from some guy
mm,
online.
yeah,
I don't even know if he owned it. I'll be honest with you, it felt kind of sketchy in the area I was at buying it. I just held it long enough because the guitar neck was straight, gave him
yeah,
the money and left. I didn't really use it. So we're not going to cast any judgment on it, but I'll send you a picture after the guitar. But and I paid $80 for it. But the point is, yeah, I mean, old instruments are good if you can get them or whatever, but it's not the be all and end all. It's not.
yeah,
It's not usually, and unfortunately nowadays, usually the ones that have that are the people that are wanting to become musicians that
yeah,
can afford the $10,000 guitar.
yeah,
$15,000 guitar, and they have another profession that they're very good at, like a doctor or a
yeah,
astronaut or something, and they can afford a $15,000 because I can't.
yeah. Mm.
But I couldn't justify playing that
And
kind of guitar either.
I wouldn't even want to like. I mean,
I
I
don't want
wouldn't.
anything that costs so much. I don't want something I can't scratch. I don't even wear white pants. I don't want
That's
white
what I.
clothes because I'll get dirty. It just,
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to take it out on the road where it's gonna get
yeah.
fucking. I mean, you never know what's gonna happen out there, so it's like like
You
just
want a guitar that you can play that you can be rough with, but it also sounds good.
yeah,
So there's a fine line. Um, I want to. So we'll probably wrap this up. It's been a great talk with you as usual.
yeah.
What are we looking at for maybe new music and any solo stuff you can come up with like this next year? What are we looking at? And I'll catch up with you later on in the year because I love our talks.
So January, February, we're dropping Fires. They're doing a reissue on vinyl of the original Extracapsular EP. That was the first Sub Pop release, well, the first Earth release, basically, and then we're also releasing a it's a reimagined, reworked, uh, as the kids say, chopped and screwed, I guess, version with this guy, Black Noise. Um, he works with Earl Sweatshirt and uh, does a lot of like production and
Okay.
is in the hip hop R&B world. So those are both coming out, and then the plan is to get into the studio end of March to get the new record done and hopefully get that out by the
And do
fall
you
of.
have songs for it yet, or
Yeah, we have, let's see, I have about four or five, probably trying to do like between, I don't know.
no smelly big hit singles in there? No, just kidding.
Yes,
I don't hear a single.
they're all gonna be streaming like mad. We're finally gonna be a
Oh,
streaming band.
that should be the album, your album title, the streaming
Yeah,
band, or
streaming
it's the
band.
streaming band. We're here, we're streaming. That'd be
We're
hilarious.
streaming band.
That's great. So, what about the other side stuff too?
I did have a I thought about a funny thing to try and do, but then it probably would. But if I did like Earth, keep doing Earth, but then do a whole
Yeah.
AI version, Earth AI, and see which one does better.
You know what's going to happen, don't you?
What?
The other one will pick up and it'll just be like, oh, what the heck? All this time?
Yeah, I can just sit at home with
Oh,
whatever the
yeah.
apps are and be like,
Because you know what it'll be? The worst part, people like, you'd be like, make it sound like Earth.
yeah,
And I'll just be replicating you on another thing. And everyone will be like,
yeah.
this is the most original thing I've never heard before. And
It's
you're like,
so It's so weird now too, because like when I'll look for music, like to on an Instagram post or something if I'm not
mhm.
posting my own, and then stuff will come up, and then I'll go try and look up the band that they're suggesting, and then I realize it's an AI band. Like it's just like
Really? I have not come across that, but I'll be honest, with you, I only post bands that like, if I'm doing newer
yeah.
stuff or other stuff.
I mean,
I try
sometimes
to
I
do
don't.
bands I
I mean,
can.
I don't always put Earth on stuff. I like to do like other stuff now and then. But yeah, sometimes like some of the suggestions, I'll be like, "What is this?" And then I'll go down this like
I'll
and
see, I
look,
won't even, yeah.
and then it's like, "Oh, it's an AI band." Like what? And then like I was watching. I don't remember who. Someone was trying to show me some new band, and then I was like, "Are
Yeah.
they real?" Like I was just literally like, "Is this a real band or is this an AI band?" I can't tell anymore. Especially because like any imagery now is like so filtered and stuff, and it's.
Totally.
I was just like,
If
"Is
I
this?"
see two dogs talking now, I know it's AI, but I'll accept it. But I know
Yeah, but
it's not real.
I'm just like,
You know,
"Is this real? Is this the real band? Is this a real band?" I can't tell like
you
anymore.
have to go like now. If I was doing if you're doing an acid one of your acid trips back in the day and you saw this,
Yeah,
would it have been an acid trip? Would you have questioned it? I think
yeah.
that's where you can start doing your baseline for AI.
Hmm.
You know, yeah, it's like that. I've heard people say they've heard other bands and they thought this is a great band and there's a backstory and everything. It's like the perfect 70s band artist, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? And it was a peer of yours and it was great, I guess. And they're like, that's an AI band.
yeah. No,
So it's
it's
fooling everybody. Like it's not just, people just in the car and the radio. People like
no,
you, a lot of other artists are hearing it and going, that's a great band. I haven't heard them yet. Because as
yeah,
an artist, you get excited about new music.
yeah,
That's something you would like and you hadn't heard.
yeah. And then you
And then
find
you
out.
feel ripped off.
I feel like you can tell the biggest tell is the vocals. They're always like there's like a weird there's something about the vocals that they don't quite have. Like
I don't like perfect voices anyhow.
I
I
never
love
have. I
I
like
love singers that are each singer sounds like something you never do. Like
yeah
John Carver's a great singer, but he doesn't sound like anybody else, or Spike or Wino, or just like every different singers and or
yeah
the early Rolling Stones, or just each singer can have a high voice or deep voice. John Anderson,
yeah
they all sound like different people.
yeah.
And none of them, most of them wouldn't do very well in American Idol, which is why I love it.
I mean, there's so
Because
many people from back then, like they wouldn't even have gotten a shot.
they
Like,
can't do covers of other songs either. They would sound horrible.
but
They,
also
they can
just
only do their music.
the way they looked, like they just
Oh yeah.
would, like no one would. It's just like no, like
Well, that was like you're friendly for radio, right? You got a face for radio.
yeah,
Right? That's the expression for the longest time. Yeah, you got to face the radio. All right, I get
that's
it.
a
I get it. You
that's a
know,
good
well, that's what video broke it, right? If you're good looking and sounded good, then you're all set for MTV in the early days.
one.
Um,
And then
Dylan,
it's
man, I want to thank you. This has been, yeah, right. It was
yeah.
the perfect match. I'd be like,
I'll
ooh,
let you get back to your the Christmas hustle.
I'm done. No, dude, I'm done with that. I'm just giving you back the rest of your day. I appreciate it. Thank you for coming on. We were a little bit late coming on, so I thank you.
Oh
And
yeah, no worries.
let's catch up in a couple months or whenever down the road you get more
Yeah,
time. All
I'll hit
right.
you up when I get back from Europe.
Yeah, let's keep these constant. I enjoy these talks. These are a lot of fun talking to real people about real music,
Right on.
and keep people up in your world, you
I
know,
will. I'll let
not
you
not
know when we get in
rumors.
the studio and stuff. So,
Yeah, do that. Let's do that. Let's talk again. Be safe in your trip overseas. Be
all right.
good. Don't say anything on social media that won't let you back in the country. We like you.
I'm more worried about getting arrested over there.
Yeah, that's the other. Yeah, you can't get arrested anywhere. You're like a little national treasure. You stay out of trouble. You just bring a book. Bring a big book to read in the airplane.
Keep my mouth shut.
Keep your mouth
Read a
shut. Don't even
book.
bring NyQuil. Just look down straight and play your guitar. So
Yeah.
we can get you back over here for recording. All right, we'll talk in a couple months. Probably this by the summer we'll be chatting again. All
All
right.
right.
People as usual, support Dylan and Earth and all stuff, and go do his wormhole side music too. There's a lot of crazy stuff out there to keep you busy. All right, brother. Take
Thank you.
care. Happy holidays.
Yep. Yeah, happy holidays.